Hey, welcome back to class. This is SAB Studios Academy, and I am so happy to see you here for lesson number 3. In our first class, we talked about what AI filmmaking really is. It's about control, not shortcuts. In our second class, we learned about the 5 core pillars of AI filmmaking: text to image, text to speech, image to video, text to video, and lip sync. We learned that these pillars work together to help you create complete films. Now today, we're going to tackle something that confuses almost every beginner, something that stops people in their tracks before they even start creating. We're talking about tools. Today's class is called Tools Are Not Magic: Choosing Platforms with Intention. And here's what I'm going to do for you today. I'm going to end your confusion. I'm going to stop you from wasting money. I'm going to help you understand how to choose the right tools for your projects without getting paralyzed by all the options out there. Because here's the truth. Most beginners don't have a tool problem. They have a thinking problem. They think the tool is magic. They think if they just find the perfect tool, everything will work. But that's not how it works. By the end of this class, you're going to understand why no single AI tool does everything well. You're going to learn how to choose tools based on what they're actually good at, not based on hype. I'm going to share my real-world breakdown of the tools I use and why I use them. And you're going to learn how to think in workflows, not apps. This is going to save you so much time, so much money, and so much frustration. Let's get into it. All right, let's start with the most important lesson of this entire class. No single AI tool does everything well. Let me say that again. No single AI tool does everything well. This is so important to understand because most beginners are looking for the one tool to rule them all. They want one platform that does text to image perfectly, text to speech perfectly, image to video perfectly, lip sync perfectly, everything perfectly. And when they can't find that tool, they feel frustrated. They feel stuck. They keep searching and searching, watching review videos, reading articles, asking in forums, what's the best AI tool? And they never start creating because they're always looking for the perfect tool. Here's what you need to understand. That tool doesn't exist. And even if it did, it wouldn't matter. Because filmmaking is not about one tool. It's about combining the right tools for the job. Let me give you an analogy. Imagine you're building a house. You need a hammer, a saw, a drill, a level, a tape measure, and so on. Now, could someone invent a single tool that's a hammer and a saw and a drill all in one? Maybe. But would it be as good as using the best hammer, the best saw, and the best drill separately? Probably not. The same is true for AI tools. Some tools are amazing at generating images, but terrible at creating videos. Some tools are incredible at text-to-speech, but don't do images at all. Some tools are great for lip sync, but expensive. Some tools are fast, but lower quality. Every tool has strengths and weaknesses. Let me give you real examples. Midjourney is one of the best tools for creating stunning artistic images, beautiful compositions, amazing detail. But Midjourney doesn't do video. It doesn't do voice. It only does images. Runway is excellent for video generation and editing, but if you want the absolute best image quality, you might prefer Midjourney or another tool first, then bring those images into Runway. 11 Labs is the gold standard for realistic text-to-speech voices. The voices sound incredibly human, but 11 Labs doesn't generate images or videos. It only does voice. See the pattern? Each tool specializes in something, and that's actually a good thing because specialization means quality. So instead of looking for one perfect tool, you need to shift your mindset. Start thinking, what is this tool best at? And does that match what I need right now? This is how professionals work. They don't use one tool for everything. They build a toolkit. They choose the best tool for each part of the process. And that's exactly what you're going to learn to do. All right, let's talk about how filmmakers actually choose tools, because there's a right way and a wrong way to do this. The wrong way is to choose tools based on hype. What do I mean by hype? I mean choosing a tool just because everyone's talking about it, just because it's trending on social media, just because a YouTuber said it's the best, just because it's new and shiny. Here's the problem with choosing tools based on hype. Hype doesn't tell you if the tool is right for your project. Hype doesn't tell you if the tool fits your workflow. Hype is just noise. Let me give you an example. Let's say a new AI video tool launches. Everyone's talking about it. This is revolutionary. This changes everything. The hype is huge. So you sign up. You pay for a subscription. You try it. And you realize it's okay. It does some things well, but for your specific needs, another tool you were already using works better. Now you've wasted money and time because you followed the hype instead of thinking critically. The right way to choose tools is based on strength. What does that mean? It means you ask these questions. 1. What is this tool's main strength? What does it do better than other tools? 2. Does that strength match what I need right now? Is that strength relevant to my current project? 3. Can I afford it? Is it free or does it require a paid subscription? Can I get by with a free version? 4. Does it fit my workflow? Will this tool work smoothly with the other tools I'm using? Let me give you an example of thinking based on strength. Let's say you're working on a project where you need incredibly realistic human voices with lots of emotional range. You need characters that sound genuinely sad, happy, angry, scared. You research tools. You find that 11 Labs is known for having the most realistic, emotionally expressive voices. That's its strength. And that strength matches your need. So you choose 11 Labs for voice work, even if it costs a bit more, because it's the best tool for that specific job. But for generating images, you don't need 11 Labs, so you use a different tool, maybe Leonardo AI or Midjourney, because those are strong at image generation. See? You're matching tool strength to project need, not just chasing hype. Another example. Let's say you need to create a quick 5-second video clip for social media. You don't need the absolute highest quality. You need speed. You need something fast and easy. In that case, maybe you choose a tool that's not the best in quality, but is fast and user-friendly. That's the right choice for that situation. The key lesson. Every tool has a strength. Choose based on what you actually need, not based on what's trending. All right, before we go further, if you're finding this helpful, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button right now. It really helps more people discover this content. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to SAB Studios Academy, because we're giving you real, practical information that you won't find anywhere else. Also, if you want to see these concepts in action and get free cinematic music for your projects, head over to SAB Studios NG. That's Africa's AI studio. We have a playlist of free audio you can use for your films. And remember, for our challenges and festivals, you must use music from our official playlist. And as always, if you have questions, drop them in the comments. We're listening, we will answer you. Let's keep going. All right, now I'm going to give you something really valuable. I'm going to share my personal, real-world breakdown of the tools I actually use and why I use them. This is not about telling you these are the best tools. This is about showing you my thinking process, how I match tools to tasks, how I build my workflow. And I want you to learn from this thinking, not just copy my tools, because by the time you watch this video, new tools might exist. Tools might have changed, but the thinking process stays the same. Let's go through them one by one. First, Claude AI. This is an AI assistant made by Anthropic, and I use Claude for one specific reason: writing that feels human. When I need to write scripts, dialogue, narration, or even just brainstorm ideas in a conversational way, I use Claude. Why? Because Claude is excellent at understanding context, tone, and nuance. The writing doesn't feel robotic. It feels natural. It feels like a real person talking. Let me give you an example. Let's say I'm writing a script for a short film about a father and daughter reconnecting after years apart. I need the dialogue to feel real. I need emotion. I need it to sound like how people actually talk, not like a robot wrote it. I can give Claude the scenario, ask for dialogue, and refine it together. Claude understands subtlety. It understands that people don't always say exactly what they mean. It understands pauses, hesitation, emotion. That's Claude's strength, human feeling writing. I don't use Claude for generating images. I don't use Claude for video creation. That's not what it's designed for. But for writing, it's my go-to. Next, ChatGPT. This is made by OpenAI, and I use it for 3 main things: research, refining ideas, and structured prompting. Let me break that down. Research. If I need to quickly learn about a topic, get background information, or understand something I'm unfamiliar with, I ask ChatGPT. For example, if I'm making a film set in the 1920s and I need to know what clothing styles were popular or what cars people drove, I can ask ChatGPT and get a quick overview. Refining ideas? Sometimes I have a rough idea for a story, but it's not fully formed. I can talk through it with ChatGPT. I can say, here's my idea, what's missing, what could make this stronger? And ChatGPT helps me think through plot holes, character motivations, structure. Structured prompting? When I need to write very specific, detailed prompts for AI image or video tools, ChatGPT is great at helping me structure those prompts. I can say, I need a prompt for a cinematic shot of a warrior at sunset, and ChatGPT can help me add the right technical details: camera angles, lighting, mood, style. ChatGPT's strength is versatility and structure. It's like a really smart research assistant and brainstorming partner.
Again, I don't use ChatGPT to generate images or videos, but for the thinking work, the planning work, the writing work, it's incredibly useful. Next, Grok AI. This is made by XAI, and I use it specifically for fast content creation and experimentation. Grok is quick, it's conversational. It's great when I need something fast and I'm just experimenting. Maybe I'm testing out an idea and I want quick feedback. Maybe I need a draft of something and I'll refine it later. Grok is my speed tool. It's not always the most polished, it's not always the deepest, but when I need velocity, when I need to move fast and iterate quickly, Grok is there. Think of Grok as the tool you use when you're in the early, messy, experimental phase of a project. You're throwing ideas around, you're testing things, you're not worried about perfection yet. Next, LM Arena. Now, this one is interesting. LM Arena isn't a single AI model. It's a platform where you can compare different AI image models side by side. Why is this useful? Because sometimes you're not sure which image generation tool will give you the best result for a specific prompt. So you use LM Arena to test the same prompt across
models, Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, DALL-E, and others, and you see which one gives you the best output. This is comparison power. It helps you make informed decisions. Instead of guessing which tool is best, you test and see. I use LM Arena when I'm working on a project where the visual quality is critical, and I want to make sure I'm using the absolute best model for that specific style or look. Dreamface, QN, lip sync choices and when to use which. Now let's talk about lip sync tools. I mentioned two here, Dreamface and QN. Both of these tools do lip sync, making characters' lips move in sync with audio, but they have different strengths. Dreamface tends to be more polished and smooth. It's great for professional-looking results where you need the lip sync to be nearly perfect. If I'm working on a high-quality short film where characters are speaking on camera, I might lean toward Dreamface. Qwen is faster and sometimes more accessible. It's great when you need lip sync quickly, and you're okay with slightly less perfection. Maybe you're doing a test, or a social media video, or something where speed matters more than absolute polish. The key is knowing when to use which. If it's a final, polished film, Dreamface. If it's a quick experiment or draft, Qwen. Again, this is about matching tool strength to project need. Sonato, music with commercial rights. Finally, Sonato. This is an AI music generation tool, and here's why I use it. Commercial rights. When you create music with Sonato, you own the rights to use it commercially. That means you can use it in YouTube videos, client projects, films you plan to sell or distribute without worrying about copyright issues. This is huge. A lot of AI music tools don't give you clear commercial rights, or they're restrictive. Sonato does, and that makes it a safe, reliable choice for filmmakers who want original music. Now, we also have our own free cinematic audio playlist on SAB Studios NG, and for all our internal challenges and festivals, you must use music from that playlist. But if you're working on external projects, Sonato is a great option. Summary of tools breakdown. So let me recap quickly. Claude AI, human feeling writing. ChatGPT, research, refining ideas, structured prompting. Grok AI, fast experimentation. LM Arena, image generation comparisons. Dreamface, QN, lip sync, polished versus fast. Sonato, music with commercial rights. Notice the pattern? Each tool has a specific strength. I use each one for a specific purpose. I don't use one tool for everything. This is how you should think too. Now let's talk about money, because this is where a lot of beginners make a big mistake. The mistake is this: paying for tools too early. Let me explain. When you're just starting out, you're excited. You want to dive in. You see a tool, it looks amazing, and you think, I need to subscribe to this right now. So you pay $20 a month, then you find another tool and you pay $30 a month, then another $15 a month. Before you know it, you're spending $100 plus every month on AI tools, and you haven't even finished your first project yet. Here's the problem. You don't actually know which tools you need yet. You don't know your workflow yet. You don't know your style yet. You're still learning. So you end up paying for tools you barely use, or you realize later that a free tool would have worked just fine. Or you switch tools and now you've wasted money on something you're not using anymore. My advice? Start with free versions. Experiment. Learn. Then pay when you know what you actually need. Almost every major AI tool has a free tier or a free trial. Use those. Push them as far as you can. Learn the platforms. Figure out which ones you actually like and which ones fit your workflow. Only when you're consistently using a tool and you're hitting the limits of the free version and you know that the paid version will genuinely help you create better work,
Only then should you upgrade. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're experimenting with text-to-image. You try the free version of Leonardo AI. You use it for a few projects, you realize you love it. You're using it all the time. You're hitting the free limit. Now it makes sense to pay for the pro version because you know it's valuable to you. But if you paid for it on day one before you even knew if you liked it, that would be a waste. Be smart with your money, especially when you're starting out. Free tools can get you very far. I've seen people create incredible films using only free versions of tools. It's possible. Don't let anyone make you feel like you need to pay for everything immediately. You don't. Alright, now we're getting to one of the most powerful concepts in this entire class, thinking in workflow, not apps. What does that mean? Most beginners think in apps. They think, I need Midjourney, I need Runway, I need 11 Labs. They're thinking about individual tools. But professionals think about workflow. They think about the process, the steps, the flow from beginning to end. Let me show you the difference with an example. Beginner thinking, apps. I need to use Midjourney to make images. Then I need to use Runway to animate them. Then I need to use 11 Labs for voice. Then I need to use CapCut to edit. They're thinking tool by tool, but there's no bigger picture. Professional thinking, workflow. Step 1. I need to generate my key visuals. Which tool is best for the style I want? I'll test a few and choose. Step 2. I need to animate those visuals. Which tool gives me the control I need? I'll choose based on that. Step 3. I need voiceover. What emotion do I need? I'll take the tool that does that emotion best. Step 4. I need to edit everything together. What editing tool do I already know? I'll use that. See the difference? The professional is thinking about the flow of the project. They're thinking about what needs to happen in what order. The tools are just means to an end. This is workflow thinking. When you think in workflow, you're not stuck on tools. You're flexible. If one tool doesn't work, you swap it out. If a new tool comes along that fits your workflow better, you try it. But your workflow, your process, stays consistent. Let me give you a concrete example. Project, 1-minute motivational video. Workflow, script writing. I use Claude AI to write the narration script. Voiceover, I use 11 Labs to generate the voiceover from the script. Visual planning, I write down the key visuals I need. Mountains, sunrise, person standing strong. Image generation, I use Midjourney to create those visuals. Animation, I use Runway to animate the images. Subtle movement, cinematic feel. Music, I grab a track from our free cinematic audio playlist on SAB Studios NG. Editing, I bring everything into CapCut or Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve and edit it all together. Final touches, I add text overlays, color grading, sound effects. Export, I export the final video. That's a workflow. Notice how each step leads naturally to the next. The tools are there to serve the workflow, not the other way around. Once you build a workflow that works for you, you can use it over and over again. You can refine it, you can speed it up, but the structure stays the same. This is how you stop feeling overwhelmed. This is how you become efficient. Stop thinking, what tools do I need? Start thinking, what process do I need? And which tools fit into that process? Alright, we're getting close to the end, but before we finish, I want to remind you, like this video if it's helping you. Seriously, it makes a huge difference. And subscribe to SAB Studios Academy so you don't miss the next lessons. Also, check out SAB Studios NG for practical examples and free music for your projects. All our challenges require you to use music from our free playlist, so make sure you grab those tracks. Got questions? Drop them in the comments. We're here for you. Now, let's talk about something important. Okay, real talk. If you've been researching AI tools, you've probably watched a ton of YouTube videos titled things like Top 10 Best AI Tools for Filmmakers, the only AI tool you need in 2025. This AI tool will replace everything. And you know what? Most of those videos are not helping you. In fact, they're probably making you more confused. Let me tell you what to ignore when you watch those videos. 1. Ignore claims that one tool is the best for everyone. There is no best tool that works for everyone. The best tool for you depends on your project, your budget, your skill level, and your goals. What works for a professional filmmaker with a big budget might not work for a beginner working for free. So when someone says, this is the best tool, ask yourself, best for who? Best for what? 2. Ignore overhyped new releases. Every week, a new AI tool launches, and every week people say it's revolutionary and changes everything. But most of the time, it's just a slight improvement on something that already exists. Don't get caught up in the hype cycle. Let new tools prove themselves. Wait a few weeks or months, see if people are still using them, see if they actually deliver on their promises. Early adopters often waste money on tools that disappear or underdeliver. 3. Ignore videos that are actually just ads. A lot of best AI tools videos are sponsored. The person is being paid to promote certain tools. There's nothing wrong with sponsorships, but you need to know when you're watching an ad, not an honest review. Look for creators who are transparent, who mention pros and cons, who compare tools fairly, who admit when something doesn't work well. If a video only says good things about every tool, it's probably an ad. 4. Ignore lists without context. Some videos just list tools with no explanation of why you choose one over another. Here's tool A, here's tool B, here's tool C. But they don't tell you when to use each one or what each one is best for. That's not helpful. You need context, you need use cases. You need to understand the why, not just the what. 5. Ignore the idea that more tools equals better. Some videos make it seem like you need 20 different tools to make good AI films. That's not true. You can make incredible work with just 3 to 5 core tools. More tools often means more confusion, more cost, and more wasted time switching between platforms. Focus on mastering a few tools that work well together. Quantity over quality. So what should you pay attention to in those videos? Pay attention to how the tool is being used, not just that it exists. Pay attention to workflow examples. How does this tool fit into a real project? Pay attention to honest limitations. What does this tool not do well? Pay attention to pricing and access. Is it free, subscription, one-time payment? Be a critical viewer. Don't just absorb information, filter it. Alright, we're almost done, and I want to close with the most important message of this entire class. The tool doesn't make the filmmaker, the thinking does. Let me say that one more time. The tool doesn't make the filmmaker, the thinking does. You can have access to every single AI tool on the planet. You can have unlimited budgets. You can have the latest, most advanced technology. But if you don't have vision, intention, story, and creative thinking, your films will still be empty. On the flip side, you can have just a few basic tools, maybe even just free versions. But if you have a strong story, clear intention, and creative vision, you can make something powerful, something that moves people, something that matters. The tool is just the brush. You are the painter.
Now, here's your assignment, and I really want you to do this because it's going to help you so much. Step 1. Think about a simple project you want to create. It could be a 30-second motivational video, a 1-minute story, a short film concept, anything. Step 2. Map out your workflow. Write down the steps. Don't think about specific tools yet. Just think about the process. For example, write the script, generate images, animate images, add voiceover, edit together, add music. Step 3. Now, for each step, identify what you need, the function, the pillar, not which tool. For example, script, I need writing assistance. Text generation. Images, I need text to image. Animation, I need image to video. Voiceover, I need text to speech. Editing, I need video editing software. Music, I need royalty-free or AI-generated music. Step 4. Optional. If you already know some tools, you can add them, but focus on the thinking first. Write this workflow down. Share it in the comments if you want feedback. Tell us, here's my project idea, and here's my workflow. This exercise will train you to think like a filmmaker, not just a tool user. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking this seriously. You're building a foundation that's going to serve you for years. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to SAB Studios Academy, and check out SAB Studios NG for practical resources and free cinematic music. In our next class, we're going to dive into something really exciting: how to build visual style and consistency across your films. You're going to learn how to make your work look unique, recognizable, and professional. Until then, remember, the tool doesn't make the filmmaker, the thinking does. I'll see you in the next class.